Hello and welcome to John's Author Diary for the week ending July the 8th, 2018. This podcast is going to sound a bit rough around the edges because I am currently visiting family in Leeds, so I'm recording this on my mobile, including a live introduction, so I hope you enjoyed that. I've had a really busy week. It was a bit of a strange one because on Monday and for half of Wednesday, my writing schedule got a bit messed up. So last weekend I went to see the New Japan Wrestling show in Manchester. And that was a great time, and so I was travelling back from that on Monday. Really enjoyed the show, got to see some of my favourite wrestlers, including Kazuchika Okada and Minoru Suzuki in the ring, so that was really good. And then on Wednesday, it was my son's sports day at school, so I went to see that and sit in the sweltering sun for about 3 hours, watching him do things like sack races and a race called a bear race, which is basically where the kids crawl on their knees. In writing news, I've been working on the Stop Booking Around non-fiction book, so I've been getting that finalised, proofed, and I've also recorded an audio book. Now, I don't recommend doing this. I'm visually impaired, so it's been actually quite a struggle to do it, and I think when I finished the recording of the thing, I had just such bad eye strain from doing it, because essentially what I had to do was read with one eye, do it on my Kindle app, very enlarged. And so I think at points the gaps between the sentences are probably a bit long, so I think I'm going to have a lot of editing to do. But I've got the cover back from Ryan Schwartz, he's on Facebook as the cover designer, and he's done a fantastic job. He's helped me in the past with little graphic things, and he's put together a really cool cover for me, so looking forward to launching that, which should be very soon. I'm just waiting to get the final graphics from Ryan, and then I just need to do a final format of the book. There's part of me thinking I should probably wait and get the audio book, the print book and the ebook out at the same time. I've not done that before. There's a possibility that having all three products out there at once might be helpful to getting more people into the audiobooks. I also managed to finish the second draft of The Magician, which is the first full novella in my epic fantasy, which I'm calling the Ravenglass Chronicles. So I'm really excited about this series. I've released the first novelette called The Fool on Insta Freebie, and then I'm going to do a perma-free release of that at a later date once I've got The Magician and The High Priestess ready, which will be the book that I outlined on Friday. Now, what's so fun about this series, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, is I've got a big story arc that goes through 22 novellas, and each one of them is based on one of the major arcana cards in the tarot. So what I'm doing when I'm about to outline each book is I've got my broad story points, I know where I need to go by the end of the next book, but the actual content of the book is inspired by the respective tarot card. So, for example, The Fool draws on inspiration and symbolism from the tarot card The Fool, and The Magician, again, draws on inspiration and symbolism from that card. And I've just done the same outlining the High Priestess. So on Friday, I went to Wetherspoons in Morecambe. I bought one of those refillable coffees and sat there for about 3 hours, working through caffeine and outlining that next story. I've been trying to work out for ages a way I can throw in some randomness, some unexpected elements into my writing. And I read a few years ago that Philip K. Dick did this when he wrote his book, The Man in the High Castle. So apparently he used the I Ching, which is like a divination thing, to decide where the story was going to go. Now, I still want to have a story that progresses. So over 22 books, you'll see a bit of a epic fantasy arc, although my ending is going to be a little bit different and hopefully unexpected. But as I'm sitting down to write each of these books individually, I've got that randomness, I've got that unexpectedness, and it's actually giving me a lot of energy in terms of writing and feeling excited about the project. I was thinking about how long it took me to write Blind Gambit, and the fact that I've been able to write a novelette, The Fool, and then a novella, The Magician, in the time it probably took me to get through the first 12,000 words of Blind Gambit is really positive. And what I'd like to do eventually is get these books coming out on a monthly basis from the autumn, because I think serialised fiction is probably the way forward. I mean, that's the way we're consuming things on Netflix. It's the way we consume comic books and things like that. So I'm hoping that having that monthly release schedule will help bring more readers to the series. So I've not had any questions this week, but if you want to send me a question, you can tweet me. It's at JLCronshaw, or you can email it. It's john@johncronshaw.com. And if you go onto my Twitter right now, you can actually download The Fool from Insta Freebie, so you can start getting into that fantasy world. So until next time, cheerio.